good question, but I don't have the right answers. I was so burnt out that I suddenly started missing being a student to explore more of the world, and the idea of studying in Europe fascinated me so much. And so the fact that I'll be outside my country experiencing different cultures, different environment, and I'm learning so much from different people. It's like we are united by the fact that, well, we're students. The best part of it, it's because it helps you become a better person because you learn more from them. I could see my 80-year-old self regretting, like, why didn't you just try to apply? Like, it's easy, just collect your documents and everything. I don't want to have any regrets.
Good day, dear friends. I am Vadim, an Erasmus Mundus student, and this is More Than Studying podcast, where international students share their experiences of studying abroad and much more. I hope the stories collected in this podcast are not only helpful, but also inspiring. Remember, what we did, you can also do. Just give it a try. Today, my guest is Krishna, and she's from Philippines, studying here Erasmus Mundus Nanoscience and Nanotechnology program, just like me, in Catholic University of Leuven. Hello, Krishna. How are you doing?
Hi, Vadim. I'm doing fine.
Why just fine? Why not perfect? Why not outstanding?
Because, well, right now I'm still grasping the fact that I have nothing to do, so I'm still trying to, because the exams just finished and we've been so busy studying everything, and now it's like there's nothing to do for now, for me in my case. So yeah, I'm still like getting used to it, and you've given me this task, and I am really, really grateful that I have something to do.
Yeah,
very important thing to do
brain
today.
before, like when you were preparing for exam, like I need to study, yeah. And then when you don't have to study, your brain's like, no, what is happening?
Exactly, I don't know
why are you so relaxed?
Yeah.
Can you tell me please more about your background before you became an international student? Because I think it's quite important, because exactly based on your background, you can get scholarships, you can be accepted to universities abroad. So what is your background? Yeah, what is your story?
Oh, thank you. Good question. So I studied applied physics in University of the Philippines, Diliman. So I studied there, graduated last 2020. And right after that, I worked as a data analyst immediately during pandemic. And because, you're a fresh graduate, and I just took like the first job offer that I got. I didn't really look into the conditions, like is it good for me? Is the work-life balance okay? It was definitely tipped towards overwork. So I was working a lot, and it drained so much energy from me. I was so burnt out that I suddenly started missing being a student and just focusing on learning new things every day while I was in the office. It was a work from home setup, of course, during pandemic. And so I was just focused on just trying to finish certain tasks per day, and it became monotonous, and I felt like we were being underappreciated by the company. So I was like, I want something more. And also because it was during the pandemic, so I was just stuck at my house. I couldn't go out, and so the confines made me want to explore more of the world, and the idea of studying in Europe fascinated me so much. And so I decided to just try and see what happens.
Yeah, why not looking for an offer, like a job offer in Europe, for example? Like, why exactly studying? I mean, you're not the first person who mentions that you missed studying exactly, but there is no like normalized working hours like when you are studying, because you are studying 24/7, right? You are studying even at your weekends, and actually you don't have any weekends, because like each day, like working day, weekends, like no difference at all. Why are you missing studying? Like, and
it's the fact that I just wanted to get out of that cycle every day. Like, I had to work on certain stuff. I really didn't learn a lot of new things because I just had to give reports every day, like consistently every day. And then and I had to work overtime without any pay. And I feel like it also affected my health. And And that's why I missed studying, even though I wasn't really a good, a good like perfect student. I was a procrastinator, but still I missed it because it just gave me more freedom to learn different things. And the idea of being in Europe, well, the fact that I'll be outside my country, experiencing different cultures, different environment, and also having the chance to explore Europe.
Yeah, you needed a change, and you decided this change to be huge, very significant. So wasn't it too difficult for you to, I don't know, move to another country to change everything? Like, do you think that this was a positive thing in your life?
I still think that it's positive. Though in terms of the difficulty, actually when I was in college, I also already had to be separated from my family because I lived in a different island before. And so I had to move to Manila where the university was. And so I already had an experience of being independent. And so I'm kind of used to it because in order to go home, I still need like one flight away, so it's still very far for me. And being here, it's kind of similar, but of course it's very different because I can't just go home easily during the holidays. Like, you're actually very far, and whatever happens at home, you can't really get there in time, and that always worries me. And the homesickness is also there. So of course those are the things that you'll never get used to, and you just have to live with it.
How can you manage with homesickness, for example? Because like it might affect your studying as well.
That's true. I message them every day, and if I have time, I definitely call them. Technology really helped a lot with this. But yeah, it will never be the same. Like, once I got home last Easter holiday, and yeah, it was really mind-opening because it's like coming home after a very long trip, and it felt really nice to be at home again. And then that's when I also got into this new perspective of like, okay, I actually left home so long that my home feels different now.
Because I think that you also started to build a new home here.
Exactly.
So yeah, it might be a bit confusing.
Yeah.
Because like you have two homes now, and you feel in both places quite good, and you think like, yeah, I have two different places that I can call home.
Exactly.
That's really good, I guess, because like at the end of the day, the whole world is your home. Might be
exactly.
the case. What about like actually building new relationships, like find new friends here? Because like when you come and you have to adjust also your social life, not only, yeah.
Well, in my case, I got lucky because I met so many wonderful friends. I always thought that it would be challenging for me, but after like several conversations with other people and then finding the right group, like the right friends, it was just very enlightening for me to form friendship.
You know what? I think, if my memory serves me right, you were really, really proactive in our WhatsApp group that was created for our program in the beginning of before we met in person.
Yeah.
And actually, I think it was you who suggested one of the very, very first meetings in one of the restaurants here when we arrived a bit earlier before the info session. So what made you so active in social media in first days? Like, yeah, was it like a true desire to make new friends, or like what, or are you generally socially active person?
The latter question, no, I'm not generally socially active, but I was excited to meet a lot of new people, and that's why I was active so far. I mean, even though we come from different cultures and with countries with different problems and everything, but we are united by the fact that, well, we're students. We're facing the same challenges right now. But contrastingly, after that, I just stopped being active in the group chats.
I also noticed, like, you can correct me if I'm not right, that you have different groups of friends from my point of view. I mean, you have one group of friends with who you go to lectures, have dinners together, and you also have group of friends like in the place where you live, and you also invited them for dancing workshops like swing rock or art workshops, something like this.
Yeah.
So, and you also have friends in different countries, in Netherlands, in France. So it seems that you are very open to to have a lot of friends person. How are you doing this?
Oh my gosh, I have to explain this clearly. Like I actually like back in the Philippines, I just have I just kept my circle of friends really small. And I got lucky because my classmates, like one of them, my friend, she's the first one who had was able to have the Erasmus scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
So during 2020, she got to Europe and then spent her Erasmus in the first 2 years. And then after that, I have two more friends who applied with me at the same year, and they also passed, and that's why I have them, and that's why those are the friends that you're referring to. Like I have friends all over the country. It's because they're my friends from the small circle of friends that I told you about. They're the same people in that same circle. Like I know it may seem many, but yeah, they're the friends that I have from college, and I got lucky that they're also in Europe.
Then what about your friends that you met here? Like how did you manage to actually make new friends? And what is your experience like with being friends with people from different countries, different parts of the world?
Yeah, it's really amazing. Everyone is fascinating, and I'm learning so much from different people. It's like, when I was in the Philippines, it's like, okay, you read a lot of stuff about like how the people are living in other countries, but it's really different once you learn it from the person themselves. We compare different things in our countries, like what's going on, and this we compare, and then we just share stories, and then you can actually see a lot of similarities that unites everyone. And whenever that happens, it's like, wow, like, you learn a lot more about everyone from different countries.
Yeah. That's the case.
Yeah, and I think that's the best part of it. It's because it helps you become a better person because you learn more from them.
You know what? Like you just mentioned that everybody is so fascinating, so amazing people are here. It might also be the case that the person might start to think that he or she is not good enough in comparison to other people because they have a better experience in life or study better here or deal with this international experience much better. And like they just might start to think that they are not good enough, and this might also affect their grades, their mood, whatever. How do you think is it possible to deal with such kind of situation, like being surrounded by such amazing people on one hand, but on the other hand, it also might be a bit, it just like puts a bit of pressure on you because you also need to be amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be amazing.
I can speak from personal experience that, I do understand the feeling of not insecurity, but like feeling like you're not good enough for this. I do understand that feeling because, well, besides the fact that I'm not used to the current system or the current, like in KLOV and there's only one exam, I'm like so surprised by it. And I've been procrastinating a lot, and I see a lot of people who have like everything together, they already studied these things, and here I am, like I'm still struggling, I'm still cramming. And I'm also one of the oldest people here since, I worked for 3 years. So as soon as I graduated, I worked. And a lot of people here still that have that drive because most of them also just graduated. And I do find myself comparing that work ethic, the ethic. And I feel like I've lost that over the years, and I have felt it. And in terms of dealing with it, well, you really should just, you can compare yourself to compare yourself to others, to better yourself. But at the same time, the main battle is really within yourself. Like, why am I not studying now? It's because I'm being lazy, and I have to confront my own self. I'm my own main boss when it comes to studying. Like, I have to fight myself. And I think it's good to compare yourself, but for inspiration.
Can you share any personal tips how you were fighting with yourself and winning? How are you learning to say that it's gonna be better?
Well, first of all, of course, surround yourself with people who will support you. I think that's very important. I have friends like you guys support each other. We hang out, and it makes me forget about all the problems, like whenever we hang out and just have fun. So it really helps. And my family as well, knowing that they're doing great, or they're there for me, like that's very important as well. And knowing that they love me and they'll always be there, that's also very important. My boyfriend also helps me a lot, like keeping me emotionally stable. So it's like the people, surround yourself with people that respects you and loves you. That's a very important thing. But when it comes to, of course, to yourself, how do you say you're okay? Well, that's really hard. Like, just let yourself cry. If you want to cry, just cry. If you want to be alone and think about these stuff, and don't ever force yourself like to do things, though I think sometimes I have to. Like, you have to force yourself to study at some point. But what I mean is, be kind to yourself.
You know, some people say that routine really helps. As far as like studying is included into your everyday routine, it's much easier to study. Of course, if it's not included, you really have to force yourself because you'll never feel like studying.
Yeah.
It's like, being a child again.
Exactly,
You have to do some things. Yeah, that's true. So what about your trajectory, your studying trajectory? Nanophysics, what is this? Why nanophysics, and what do you expect from this field?
Okay, so at first, I really didn't know which track I would get into. I did learn about nanophysics, but I think from what I remember back then, I was like, no, I'm not going to take physics again. I want to study something else. But I lost track, and track of the thought at least, and I totally couldn't choose any track. Like, I did choose at first nanomaterials. I did. But then I realized I'm not quite sure, like, what do I really want? Don't try this at home. But what I did, I just drew
randomly?
lots. Yeah.
What? Randomly?
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I didn't really decide that, okay, whatever comes out will be the final one. Like, if nanochemistry was the one that I picked from from drawing, then I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna take that. But I was like, okay, this is a fun experience. I'll just try to roll and then see like what I can pick up from this pile. And then what I got was nanophysics, and I was like, I totally forgot that nanophysics existed. And then that's when I realized, you know what? Okay, maybe I should continue studying physics.
Now I'm just like wondering, because like this program, Erasmus program, at least our program, allows a bit of a flexibility in choosing your track, so we can actually change it if you have a good motivation for it during the first year. There are some deadlines, but they are also quite flexible.
Forcefully flexible.
So when you met new friends here, right? And all of them, majority of them are going to another university because like in comparison to you, because like you're going to Sweden, all other people go into Grenoble. And as far as like nanophysics was just a random choice for you, why did not you choose the track just to follow your friends? I mean, it's something natural, a natural thought that might come to your mind just to follow the choice of your friends. Why did not you do this?
That's a good question. My grandma was also very worried about me. She was asking, why didn't you just go to France with your friends? But I'm like, yeah, but I did consider France. I looked at the tracks, but it just, I guess I just didn't like any of the tracks. Like, the first one was nanochemistry, right? And I'm like, no to chemistry in general. And then we have quantum. And I'm like, no. I'm not sure. Even though quantum is like very like inherent in a lot of our topics, I just wasn't attracted to the tracks in Grenoble. And then at that point, I just didn't have enough time to, or more like, I just feel like it's too late to reconsider. They also have bio nanotechnology, right? Which I think was actually interesting, but I think it was too late for me to just shift, because with bio, the
You
bio
still need to
track,
keep up with courses.
exactly. Like there are actually like a lot of courses that you need to take in order to proceed with the bio track. So yeah, I decided to just stick to what I got, and despite like missing my friends and being alone in a different country, I'll just brave it out like what I did last year, you know.
I also think that it's definitely needed to be taken into account that you need to write your master thesis in this topic. And if you are not really familiar with this or not really interested in it, it might be really challenging.
Exactly.
And you really want to succeed in this, in writing master thesis, to be graduated and to then find a job, a relevant job. Exactly.
Yes, that's the main goal here for me. Yeah, that's why even though you want to be with your friends, sometimes you really just have to follow what you actually need to study, because it's for your own future, you know? Like your friends will be there, you can visit them and everything, but just follow what you want, follow your passion.
Okay, having fun with friends, studying a lot. What else do you do?
Oh, the studying a lot. I studied a lot during exam season. Yes, good. Yes, I'm not proud of that. Please don't follow. I mostly had indoor hobbies, so watching series, movies, playing games. But ever since I came here and spending time with my new friends, I realized that I wanted to explore more outdoor hobbies, like walking, hiking, actually doing more sports. So yeah, I think those are the things that I've been trying to do with the help of my friends. But I also don't think I could do that in the Philippines, especially with the heat. But here it's much more manageable. It's like, yeah, maybe I haven't incorporated it into my hobby list, but trying them did open my eyes to all the possibilities. Oh, I can do this. I actually survived like hiking half of the mountain. And when we were able to do that, I just felt proud of myself, because I didn't do that beforehand. And at least it will make it easier for me in the future if I have time to do these new things. I'll be more brave to try different hobbies that outside my comfort zone. So I think that's the important lesson for me.
I really like that you introduced this topic, because I think that these activities, like common activities for different regions in the world, is something that is a good way to exchange like cultural experience as well. Because like here in Europe, it's quite common to go for hiking, right? And this is not the case for Philippines. But for Philippines, it's a case to have a lot of karaoke nights, and you even brought the karaoke machine from your home. And this is exactly what you made us, your friends, to do.
That's what I contributed.
Exactly. You don't have to be afraid of feeling embarrassed. When you're doing weird activities. Because like when you're doing something new, you might be far from good in it. And it might look weird from the side, but still, like, you need to try new things because you have this opportunity and other people are there to help, of course. And it's always good to let other people share their skills or experiences that where they are good at. So they can also be feel that they are valuable, that they are appreciated.
Exactly.
What about other, challenges that you faced here being in Europe, especially when you went home, you also brought within your luggage a lot of mangoes. So to find a very good mango here in Europe, is it a challenge?
It's a challenge. Oh my God, I've been disappointed the whole time. When I tried new mangoes from other countries, I'm like, no, it's just different. Yeah, food. Okay, there's a lot of challenges. First, food. Yes, it was it's like the first challenge, and that's why I managed to learn how to cook like better. I mean, back then in the Philippines, I would just fry a lot of different things, but now I can actually cook Filipino food, learn more about cooking food from different countries as well, and it's a very, I mean, I think it definitely changed my life because I can save more by cooking because here in Belgium, everything's expensive. Going out to eat is also out of the question sometimes because it's just way too expensive. So here, if you come here, you have to learn how to fend for yourself. You have to learn how to be independent. Food is just so important because it connects us to the people back home. And yeah, I think that
And you
was
can
one of the
also, yeah, you
challenges.
can also share this food with your new friends, and they can taste
Exactly.
how your home tastes like.
Exactly. And that's why, like, we do in our friend group, we do a lot of different nights, Indian nights, Asian night, Filipino night, Russian night. And it has always been so great, like sharing food and culture. It was just so awesome. So we definitely recommend that to anyone who's listening. Like, yeah, it's a good
You know what?
activity.
I also have an interesting question for you, because like now you have a bit of experience of moving to another country, and like you aware of challenges that might wait for you in your second year country, because now you finished your first year of masters, and according to Erasmus program, you are moving to the second university, which is in another country in Sweden. And luckily, the program also organizes a spring workshop. So you went to Sweden. I mean, we went to Sweden to also, I don't know, to visit clean rooms, also to listen to master theses that are prepared by second year students. So when you were in Sweden, what did you do to prepare yourself for moving there? Because like you had this unique opportunity to, I don't know, build connections, like, or to ask some questions that you are interested in, to like make this transition to the second year university as smooth as possible. So what did you do, and what kind of advice can you give?
Like you said, yeah, I was definitely lucky to have this like early perspective before actually moving in. So my advice, well, first of all, in terms of residence, you gotta know the right place and what's good for you. Because for me, I luckily managed to get a place that's really close to the university. And in Chalmers, I mean in Gothenburg, there's a lot of like elevations and everything, and that has always been I mean, when we were there, it has always been like a challenge for me to climb up every time. So like looking around, looking at the environment, the right place for you was very important for me. And so I managed to get this place that's just 10 minutes away, no drastic elevations. I can just walk or bike towards the university. And so observing the environment really helped a lot in choosing the right residence for me. So that's the first thing. And also, of course, it's also important to gauge the city or like the society, who are the people living there. I mean, it was really nice to see a lot of immigrants because, okay, there's a lot of immigrants here. They must be very welcoming. But of course, you can also gauge like the language, for example, like are they more open to speaking in English? And luckily they are, for me. In my case, lucky, because yeah, they speak English. They didn't feel like they were judging for not speaking Swedish. So I was very lucky from there. And also our coordinator was very, very nice, which is a very important factor when it comes to moving to a different university.
Talking about future, like after your graduation from the second year university, what would you like to actually do? Like, do you want to keep studying or go back to industry but at a better place? Or, I don't know, probably you are now aware of what do you want to do in life more than other people?
Oh, I mean, I guess in general, I just want to be more financially independent after, so that I can actually be able to stand on my own and help my family back home. So in order to do that, I definitely need to get a job. And getting a job, I think that's my priority going into industry right now, because besides being financially independent, I also want to be able to just to be more stable in general. And with the fact that, I worked for 3 years in a company where we were underappreciated and it was very tiring. The work-life balance was off. It was a very helpful experience for me to distinguish these red flags when it comes to choosing the company that you're going to work for.
Can you name some of them so other people can also be aware of it?
Okay, I haven't really prepared something for this, but first of all, I think the biggest red flag that I ignored when I was a fresh grad was the fact that there was no overtime pay. I really shouldn't have gone to that one, but I was like, okay, it's like the first offer, let me just get it, and I didn't really think it through. And I think it's also very important, if you know anyone in the company, ask them how it is, how's the work-life balance. But those things, like you can check online like how people rate the company, the benefits, of course, see if it's worth your while. And I think it's also very important for me as a woman, like being able to see in these companies like other women holding high positions. You can see that in their environment, it seems safe. There are no issues or any. I mean, you can just research the company and see how they're faring, like how they treat their own employers, how they treat you as a woman. I think that's very important because when I wanna feel safe, I wanna be heard.
Do you think that the situation in Europe is better in terms of this? Like, probably it was the reason for you to come here?
Exactly. I think, like, with Erasmus and everything, I just feel so grateful that we've given this chance. Like, I think in Europe, I don't know much, of course, but just based on what I see, I think it's definitely better. But of course, it's different from company to company. Like, you really have to gauge it properly and research and see if it's really safe for you.
Okay, very, very good and wise advice.
Yeah, always put yourself first. I think that's what I learned from 3 years of not putting myself first. And health, of course. Like, health is very important. Sitting in front of the computer all day was like very exhausting mentally. And it did have a lot of effects on my health. So I think those things you have to consider when you have to apply for an industry job. And I think also in academia. Yeah.
Do you think that or feel like you changed, or this experience of being an international student, being in an international environment changed you a lot, or just like not a lot? Like, what do you feel like in personal development?
Yeah, I think I've become a better person, I think. I mean, I didn't really expect that I'd get in. I just tried, and because I was telling myself that, might as well try than not trying at all, because I could see my 80-year-old self regretting, like, why didn't you just try to apply? Like, it's easy, just collect your documents and everything. So I decided to do that for myself. I'm like, I'm going to try this. I didn't really expect that I would get it, but I did. And I think just doing that first step helped me become a better person, because I just decided to just believe in myself. And then I also trusted myself that whether I get in or not, it would be okay, as long as I tried. I wouldn't have any regrets. I think that's the main thing that I want to be able to tell myself when I'm on my deathbed. Like, I don't want to have any regrets. And doing this, I think it was the biggest decision of my life, and it's making me a better person. And it's still, I'm still in the process. But based on, like, the Krishna from last year, she definitely has changed. She definitely has changed a lot.
For the better?
I think so. For the better. Like, I'm still, like, I feel like I'm still partly blind and still exploring. In the process.
You still have a second year.
Exactly. I think, we still have our thesis,
And I really liked that you mentioned to become an international student, to experience all this experience that you shared. the only thing that is needed is just like collect your documents and apply for the program.
Exactly.
It's quite easy to do. Like, don't worry if you will be accepted or not.
Exactly.
Just like try. Yeah, just give it a try.
Yeah, because if I didn't get in, I think I would be okay. I'd be like, okay, I didn't get in. I tried. I'll look for a new job.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Exactly. But
so, wrapping up this interview, you now have opportunity to be heard.
Oh, thank you.
Please say anything you think worth saying. Yeah.
What's worth saying? Well, like I said, I'm very grateful that I'm here internationally in Europe, being able to study for a master's. Supported by the program. I think it's such a good privilege. But I've always thought to myself that, I think the piece of advice that I'd be able to give you is that don't ever forget where you came from. The family, the friends you have back home, don't ever forget. Like, this is a very good opportunity for us to be here in Europe. But don't ever lose sight of why you came here in the first place.
Yeah, that's a very good advice because all this experience that you had before shaped you.
Exactly.
And like it's quite important to not lose yourself in these new experiences and new opportunities, to still stick to you. And because like it's something that it's the only thing that you have at the end of the day.
Exactly.
It's just you. No matter where you're going, in which country, and what kind of people you meet, you still have yourself. And as far as you are in harmony with yourself, as far as you understand yourself good enough, there will be no challenge that you cannot deal with.
Exactly.
Share this podcast if you like it with your friends and support us with your feedback. Always do your best and live with all your heart. Krishna and Vadim were with you today. Stay tuned to this More Than Studying podcast.